A lovely good evening to you, our viewers. This is Camnet News. Thank you so much for choosing us. My name is Sharon Kalimbola. The top stories tonight. The Patriotic Front demands an audit of its members as differences emerge over its General Assembly. SOLWEZI district residents bemoan the poor state of roads. Manufacturers ask government to prioritize local products. In international news, French troops quit NORTHERNMOST post in Mali, second best in 1 month. And in sports news, what next for Zambia as World Cup dream officially shatters?
Africa is rising to a new dawn of integrity and accountability. Are you tired of being swindled or buying fake or illegal properties? Would you like to sell or buy genuine property? Would you like to list your property on both local and international market? Don't waste your time. Call the professionals, the SGK Properties on +260 762 166 018. SGK Properties. Your business assurance is our priority.
The news in detail. Patriotic Front member Patrick Samwimbila has opposed the move by the Patriotic Front Central Committee to prescribe June 2022 as the right time to hold its party elective general conference. Mr. Samwimbila, who was also Patriotic Front parliamentary candidate for Monali constituency, has proposed that the General Assembly must be held in April 2022. He claims that his views have taken into account both the stance of the general membership and those of the Central Committee. Details in this report.
As the former ruling party undergoes the rebranding process, divergent views have emerged on the holding of its party convention. Recently, PAF Acting Party Secretary General Nixon Chilangwa told journalists that the Central Committee resolved to hold its convention to elect its leadership as part of the rebranding process in June 2022.
Be president, Pamunyoko must be president. We need to respect other people's views and desires. And what we are going to do, we shall blow the whistle to say, colleagues, now go ahead and canvass your votes. President Lungu will not endorse a single candidate. I repeat, President Edgar Lungu will not endorse a single candidate, and there's no favorite person to take over from him. His desire is that we level the playing field and people are not harassed. Anybody who shows ambition, they have got a free human right to go ahead and aspire for the highest office in Patriotic.
Patriotic Front member and a losing candidate for Monali constituency, Patrick Samwimbila, has opposed the move, suggesting that the convention should instead be held in April 2022.
There is need to meet each other halfway. The general membership have been talking about either December or January about there. And then I said, no, again, that will be too soon. So in order to put or to plant hope in the membership, let the Central Committee meet again, put in place a subcommittee to look into, the organization of this general conference, organize resources, check the structures or the electorates, so that within a short period, by April, and remember, April is always the best month. Why? Because we are coming from rain season, the planting season. People would have started harvesting. Around that time, they have enough food to eat, plenty. So for us to hold an event in April, it is the best time.
He says his views are representative of the general membership of the party.
Let's listen to the grassroots cries and let the grassroots, general membership, please, my plea, my prayer to you is that let us respect leadership. Let us respect President Edgar Chagwalungu, who is still our party president. But feel free to air out your grievances, to air out your views in a civilized manner, without demeaning leadership, without insults. Then that way, we are going to see serious rebranding of the Patriotic Front, and for sure, the Patriotic Front will rebound.
What comes ahead in the former ruling party remains a mystery. For now, we can only wait and see as political events unfold. Patrick Soko, Camnet News in Lusaka.
Meanwhile, presidential hopeful BEMOAN Mutale has called on the investigative wings in the country to undertake a personal lifestyle audit on all Patriotic Front senior members. Mr. Mutale says all party officials who served in various portfolios during the Patriotic Front regime and their allies must be investigated to ascertain the corrupt within the party. Mr. Mutale says the PF as a party is not corrupt as portrayed by some sectors of society, and says investigative wings will be able to clear their name.
Since time immemorial, politics has always been a game of perception. In most cases, a change of one's perception towards a particular political party will take more than ever anticipated. In the case of the Patriotic Front, they are determined to embark on what they term party rebranding process, which they hope would secure a party a bounce back at least in the next general election. As part of the cleaning up process, a PF presidential aspirant, BEMOAN Mutale, has went the court for a personal lifestyle audit exercise by the investigative wings on all PF senior members who served in various portfolios.
Of all those names that you have called the party, they could have been there, neither nor there. But what I'm going to be saying that is that having accepted the above, we are saying that we want to clean Patriotic Front as follows to all those allegations that we can remain the party of the choice. We are going to conduct an audit lifestyle. We need to do a lifestyle audit to all the following officials that have served in Patriotic Front. Ministers at all levels will go through the lifestyle auditor. Permanent secretaries, all of them will be audited. Director General, Commissioner Generals, State House staff, the CEO, that is in the government sector, in the party sector, the PF Secretary General, PF Chairman, PF Provincial Chairmans, members of Central Committee, PF District officials, that is the chairman and their officials. All of them will go through into a lifestyle audit.
During an interview with Camnet TV, Mr. Mutale clarified that this audit exercise is to ascertain those who will be found wanting within the party so they face the law.
Of the beholder, the public are going to scrutinize those that have actually committed the atrocities. They will be exposed now, and we are ready to do that in PF so that you don't call PF as a party of thieves, a party of corrupt and caddarism. We are ending that now. I am a presidential hopeful for the Patriotic Front. At the convention, I want to stand at the convention with my head high. I want to stand at the convention as a leader who is going to deliver the Patriotic Front into the right direction.
At the end of it all, the party's fate still remains in the hands of the Zambian people who have a louder voice in this process. Alex Shimba, Camnet News in Lusaka.
Mwambeshi constituency Member of Parliament Machila Jamba has charged that the opposition Patriotic Front party managed the country without thinking when they were in government. Intimating on a notice of motion raised by Chama South Member of Parliament Davison Mongandu, which stated that government should give all first-year students at public universities 100% scholarships by the year 2022. Mr. Jamba says the motion is unnecessary as government cannot do things without planning. And supporting the notice of motion, Kabushi Member of Parliament Bowman Lusambo says the motion allows government to work on its promises. Details in this report.
Parliament Wednesday afternoon witnessed a heated debate over the need for the government to offer full scholarship to all first-year students at public universities in the 2022 academic year. Soon after the start of the day's proceedings, Chama South Area Member of Parliament came down hard on the government. During his notice of motion, he said it was important that all first-year students receive the full support from the government.
This New Dawn government has only allocated or budgeted for 2,000 students, which means more than 13,000 or 10,000 students will be unable to access higher education. It is therefore, Madam Speaker, imperative that this New Dawn government should consider rewarding these youths who have been quoted internationally to have ushered them into government by giving them 100% scholarship.
Debating on this motion, Mwembeshi Member of Parliament said the opposition Patriotic Front is supposed to apologize to the people of Zambia and the New Dawn government before introducing such a motion.
The people here are saying that this motion is non-controversial. But if you heard the way they are speaking, Madam Speaker, if they are not controversial, why didn't they say that we are sorry for not giving free education? May you please, requesting very humbly, you are supposed to apologize first, rather than first coming up with such motion. He is supposed to apologize because many people are on the streets now. They are not educated because of reckless spending and stealing money from the coffers of the government. And now they come with a motion that 100% next year. Chipante pante in simple language is headless chicken moving like a headless chicken.
However, the term headless chicken did not sit well with some members of this August House.
Order number 65, part B, where my colleague from Mwembeshi was saying that the previous government was a headless chicken. When the same government took him to Turkey, when he enjoyed the fruits of the former government.
Kabushi Area Member of Parliament Bomalu Sambo said the motion was in order and that government should fulfill its promise of free education that it made to the people of Zambia.
The New Dawn government of His Excellency His Excellency Akainde Ichilema is on record, Madam Speaker, of giving this country free education. So the motion, Madam Speaker, which is here today, it is a non-controversial motion.
Miriam Kemba, reporting for Camnet TV News.
The Lusaka High Court has reallocated the matter in which Opposition Patriotic Front member Chimba Kamwili has sued the Lusaka Principal Resident Magistrate David Semusamba for defamation to Justice Elita Mwikisa. This case was previously allocated to Judge Mwaka Mikalile, who recused herself and sent the case back for reallocation. This is in a case in which Kamwili reported Magistrate Semusamba to the Anti-Corruption Commission for allegedly attempting to extort 360,000 kwacha from him so that the magistrate could deliver judgment in his favor. Magistrate Semusamba alleged that Kamwili attempted to bribe him in order to deliver judgment in his favor when he was facing charges of forgery, uttering a false document and giving false information to a public officer before his court. However, the former opposition leader had submitted that Magistrate Semusamba was on a deliberate path to personally destroy him, especially that he had completely refused to pay the said amount which the latter demanded. Still in court, the Opposition Patriotic Front Mafinga Constituency Area Member of Parliament Robert Chavinga has been dragged to court by Mapalo lodgers for non-payment of hospitality services amounting to 62,520 kwacha, which he accrued 5 years ago. Mapalo Lodge manager Noah Mutoti has filed a complaint against the lawmaker before the Lusaka Magistrate Court for leaving the lodge without clearing his bill. According to the records before the court, between March and June 2016, the lawmaker received hospitality services at the said lodge located in Lusaka, where the bill accumulated to the said amount. It is further alleged that Mr. Chavinga purported to make a payment of 52,000 kwacha by issuing a check which was rejected by the bank due to insufficient funds. The complaint states that the act of leaving without paying the lodge bills is contrary to Section 24 of the Hotels Act and constitutes a criminal offence. In other news, as Zambia marks World Prematurity Day, a mother to a premature baby in Lusaka's Chipata compound has shared with Camnet News that it is not easy to take care of a premature child, but with the help of health practitioners, it has been manageable. The World Prematurity Day is observed on the 17th of November each year to raise awareness of preterm birth and the concerns of preterm babies and their families worldwide. Available statistics show that approximately 15 million babies are born preterm each year, accounting for about 10 of all babies born worldwide. And Triumph Foundation Executive Director Hola Simbe has underscored her foundation's resolve to complement government's efforts in safeguarding the plight of children in the country. Details in this report.
Wednesday, 17th November 2021, Zambia joined the global community to mark World Prematurity Day. This journalist took some time to interact with the mother of a premature child at Chipata Level 1 Hospital in Lusaka at the kangaroo section.
Pamene nabwera kuno kuchipata clinic ku kangaroos sinenzo zama amene ningasungire mwana wanga premature, but pamene nabwera kuno vananditandizira basi vanandifunzisa basista mosungira mwana pamene nabwera kuno timwana mwamene wasungira premature funika wamwika pache skin to skin wa mai wake ndiye pamene akula bwino development brain nkala develop na sai bala kupema chikondi na mai chingalapo.
She's happy with the support she's receiving from caregivers and well wishers.
Pari chinyamikira mwanti pa ma weeks anena nkala kuno kapani 2 weeks nyamikira mwana wanga na kgs apa yakwera ni 1.5 manji sinezo na expected mwana wanga ngafike ko so nipeleka sikomo kulo semana seziwa mni wantandizira kona mwamne wanpunzisira mosungira mwana na pamene ningaende kunyunza enda kunyumba nzaenda shita manage kusunga mwana wanga so chabe.
Long time ago, this service could only be accessed at the University Teaching Hospital, but now the situation has improved since the facility was upgraded. Triumph Foundation has been providing support to this clinic, especially to women at the maternity ward. Wola Kunda is the Chief Executive Officer for the foundation.
It came to my mind to say, me being a mother, and we have seen how the nurses here at Chipata First Level Hospital are working tirelessly to see that every premature baby has to survive, has to have life. So it came to my acknowledgement to say we should help as Triumph Foundation so that we help the children to grow. And just not premature babies, we are going to even to touch labor ward. At Chipata First Level, they have been good to me. We have been working with them so much. So as the CEO, my aim is mostly I really love to look at the girl child. I'm very much interested in a baby girl because those are the future leaders of tomorrow.
This year's World Prematurity Day is themed Zero Separation, Act Now, Keep Parents and Babies Born Too Soon Together, Focus on Preterm Babies and Caregivers. Health officials are happy with the support they continue to receive from Triumph Foundation.
We really thank those ones who are coming because when they are on the ward, they face different problems. Like most of the very big problem they are facing is hypothermia. So to avoid that hypothermia, that's why we keep them in the skin-to-skin position. So the mother should be with the baby all the time, like 24 hours, the mother should be with the baby.
It has also helped even the community. It's cost effective because they used to go to UTH, it's far, and they'll stay longer in the hospital. But if they are staying longer in the hospital, but they are closer to family, it's easier because families can move, can just walk, bring them something that they need. They can just go, oh, I'll need this. It has really, really helped.
They underscored the need for men to be proactive in child care.
Babies and mothers together, we need the fathers also to contribute to this kangaroo mother care, to contribute to the skin-to-skin with the babies.
As of 2019, neonatal mortality rate for Zambia was at 23.3 deaths per 1,000 live births. Hence, safeguarding premature babies would help reduce the situation. Patrick Soko, Camnet News in Lusaka.
Mutendere Ward 34 Councillor Boniface Chibeka has called on the Zambia police to familiarize themselves with the Environmental Management Act, stating that offenders of waste disposal are left scot-free as police do not know the charge to give them. In an interview, Mr. Chibeka says this has contributed to the continued indiscriminate waste disposal around communities. Meanwhile, Mr. Chibeka says councillors in communities have come up with a program where, working together with local authorities, regular inspections will be conducted in houses, and those without waste disposal receipts will be liable for persecution in the fast-track court.
Indiscriminate waste disposal has been a problem not only around central business districts or various townships, but also around communities in Zambia. The problem is more prominent in densely populated communities where unscrupulous individuals try to avoid paying monthly waste disposal fees and dump waste at indiscriminate places at night. This has often contributed to outbreaks of diseases such as cholera due to unsanitary conditions. Mutendere Ward 4 Councillor Mr. Boniface Chiweka has noted that the vice has increased not only in Mutendere but in other areas as well, and has called on police to institute charges which will act as a warning to those who may want to engage in the vice. He states that this poses a danger to people's health, especially with the rain season which has just begun.
I'm appealing to ZEMA, that is to come up with deliberate policy to orient the police officers, Zambia police services in communities where indiscriminate disposal of waste is concerned, so that because what I've observed is that even if a person is caught and taken to police, it's like in most cases they don't know what charge to give them. But if you look at the Environmental Management Act, provides charges and also some sentences, and they even range up from fine to up to 5 years imprisonment. So if Zema can do that, at least let it employ some inspectors, community inspectors who work hand in hand with the office of the councillor or community leaders in a particular ward to enforce the law where waste disposal is concerned.
Mr. Chiweka adds that councillors working with local authorities will soon start a program of seeking proof of waste disposal receipts from households.
We want to carry out an exercise to be checking people whether the compliance in terms of waste disposal. Those houses without households, without receipts, they are likely to be prosecuted by fast-track courts through the Lusaka City Council. So at least we are expecting each and every household to have a receipt to show that indeed they are compliance with Waste Management Act.
He has called on community members to be alert and apprehend all offenders, saying the onus is on them to ensure that communities are kept clean so as to avoid health hazards. Zipporah Mshala, Camnet News, Lusaka.
Residents of Kizingezinge in SOLWEZI district of Northwestern Province have asked the SOLWEZI Municipal Council to widen the scope of its activities on upgrading township roads. Those interviewed by Camnet News are calling on the local authority to consider upgrading Kizingezinge, Kawama and Musaza compound roads. Mr. John Muliata, a resident of the area, tells Camnet News that they are failing to navigate the area with their vehicles due to the bad state of the roads. Meanwhile, SOLWEZI District Mayor Remy Kalepa has assured SOLWEZI residents of a better road network in the district.
Roads are a catalyst to development. It aids development in all sectors of the economy, such as agriculture and mining development. In Northwestern Province, SOLWEZI District, some township roads are in deplorable state. The residents of Kizingezinge in SOLWEZI District have called on the Municipal Council to consider them as they upgrade some township roads. Those spoke to us call on the local authority to consider upgrading Kizingezinge, Kawama and Musaza compounds. Meanwhile, Mr. George Muliata, a resident of the area, says it is difficult to reach with vehicles in most areas of the locality.
Yetu tunakuwananga ukalu kunototoa majijira jauji. Kaha lola lose tuchungira nga muvula mumeya ngana kwa sachiku. Kaha tunakulomba ko ku council, tunakulomba ko ku government. Kechilenga mangana ituanukeko. Kuiza na utuwaisha kumikwa kwa kunu. Chipone zana chiteri, chipokuli muveji. Katawana moto ya kweta kuna tuatama kwa kundumi. Oloze tunakufange government eiliho, council eiliko, chaino lola. Itukafu eko kutuanuka. Kupa family, kupa batu, kupa batanga wali muna mkachika Kizingezinge. Kupa batu, kupa batanga na kuyera kuno kumusanza kuchukuru. Mumuka tushina mika koko. So government ngene tutala hongojo. Nishina tuyangana ngotu na iye tutuna hono mikwako. Nazo kutona mikwako. Ngwana tuwasha kwa mikwako. Nishona tunungo hama. Dikiko development ya lifuti. So tunakulomba wosena. Kuimanyi nako messenger. Kumanyi nako chishinge nge government itu taleko. Andu itale meso kuno kuli etu. Mumtu na kwa na ukalo wa unene. Katuchina mikwakwako. Katuchina mifolo. Omtoko etangu mololo vula. Kwa chupa nga tulishi kunongana kwa sachibu. Ha, tunalombo wantu asakuli ya mani kufulmende.
And Solwezi District Mayor has assured the residents of better road networks in the district. The mayor is optimistic that more equipment will be procured in order for the council to provide quality of services. Blessings Chakwila, Camnet News.
You're watching Camnet News. Let's take a break. Join me shortly for more interesting stories. Don't go away.
This is the Rusitu Irrigation Project. It's a government project funded by the World Bank through IDSP.
The project involved laying over 18 kilometers worth of interlinked water pipes that will supply water to the 280 hectares land for small-scale and commercial farmers in Lusitu of Chirundu district. We worked on 35 kilometers of the road network and also constructed 159 concrete water hydrants of different sizes in all 3 tiers. The state-of-the-art water pumping station at the banks of the Zambezi is fitted with 9 water pumps, a dedicated concrete reservoir, a 500 kV automated standby generator, a fully automated pump switching system that is interlinked with a second reservoir of 27,000 cubic liters capacity, which is fitted with 7 water pumps, a standby generator and floater tanks for that extra water pressure on the irrigation lines. Savenda Construction is grateful to the Zambian government and the World Bank for giving us the opportunity to be part of the history of Lusitu, as the project will benefit over 282 households once completed, and is just one of the many that Savenda Construction has embarked on, owing to its track record and capacity to deliver as per requirement. Savenda, save nations, develop Africa.
Team, the trajectory of the business looks very positive, and it looks like we'll be able to launch the ministry. There's so much data.
Mom?
Yes, baby?
It says here, global warming and climate change is caused by the pollution from careless activities of human beings. Wow!
Son, do you know I can turn my phone into a TV remote?
How's that possible?
It's so easy. Check this out.
Be smart, be fast with mega data from Zamtel. Get your 15 GB mobile data for only 100 kwacha, 30 GB mobile data for only 200 kwacha, and your 70 GB LTE data bundle with free Netflix, YouTube, Facebook, and WhatsApp. Visit our Facebook page, website, or service centers countrywide for more information. Zamtel, your digital lifestyle partner.
Your skin is the biggest muscle in your body. That's why we make sure that Oracle is #1 when it comes to taking care of your precious skin. Oracle Pure Petroleum Jelly and Glycerin soothes, moisturizes, and keeps your skin perfect. Oracle Pure Petroleum products for that perfect skin.
Africa is rising to a new dawn of integrity and accountability. Are you tired of being swindled or buying fake or illegal properties? Would you like to sell or buy genuine property? Would you like to list your property on both local and international market? Don't waste your time. Call the professionals, the SGK Properties, on +260 762 166 018. SGK Properties. Your business assurance is our priority.
You're still watching Camnet News. Thank you for staying on. The Federation of Free Trade Union of Zambia says the country can realize trade investment by working hard in bringing trade policy framework, microeconomic policies, and the cost of doing business to levels that make favorable business. Speaking when he officiated the first quadrennial elections for the Merchandisers Union of Zambia, FFTUZ Vice President Moyoya Kabisa says he is of the view that if companies can sell their products, their sales revenue and profit margin will increase. Meanwhile, Merchandise Union of Zambia has elected its first national executive, which was coordinated and monitored by Labour and Social Security officers.
As indicated in the 2020 Labour Force Survey, out of 2.9 million of the total employed population, over 700,000 belong to the wholesale and retail trade and constitute the largest group of the employees. However, the retail sector has continued to face its share of challenges, which include low wage, no job security, minimum wage, as well as little occupation safety and health facilities. The need to set up a body that will look into the plight of these people cannot be overemphasized. Wednesday, the 17th of November 2021, the Merchandisers Union of Zambia have sealed the deal by holding its first ever quadrennial elections, where they usher in their first set of leaders who will represent them at various levels of negotiations. At the conference, Federation of Free Trade Union of Zambia, FFTUZ Vice President Moyoya Kabisa has urged the union to be more united and proactive to remain relevant going forward.
The battle that you have ahead of you to ensure that the livelihood of your members is improved. When you look at your fellow merchandisers in all facets of your sector, when you see them struggling in their employment, you should know that it is you carrying the burden of improving their conditions of service. The Federation of Free Trade Unions, ladies and gentlemen, firmly believes that when companies can sell their products.
Mr. Kabisa has since underscored the need for the country to working on bringing the trade policy framework, microeconomic policies, and the cost of doing business to levels that make the country's producers' trade more competitive regional and globally.
We are confident and hopeful that as a country, we can realize trade investment potential by working hard on bringing our trade policy framework, macroeconomic policies, and the costs of doing business to levels that make the country's producers, especially in the wholesale and retail trade, more competitive regionally and globally. If we fail to do this, if the government and the workers fail to do this, the dreams that we have seen in the 2022 budget shall definitely not be realized.
As Union President-elect, Mr. Paul Kachema thanked his members and highlighted some of the challenges that lie before them as a union.
To work for the betterment of our country, Zambia. In this vein, the Merchandisers Union of Zambia, MEHOZ, has formed to look into the welfare of all merchandisers and those who fall under sales and marketing, representing various companies throughout the country. Mr. President, sir, the challenges we shall have is transportation for recruitment of our members and funds for logistics after today's elections for the National Executive Committee.
The elections were coordinated and monitored by the Ministry of Labour and Social Security officials. One can only hope that with this body in place, Zambia merchandisers will be well represented and issues affecting them will be well addressed. Alex Shimba, Camnet News in Lusaka.
The Zambia Concerned Youth spokesperson, Veni Musonda, has opposed a government's decision to ban vehicles transitioning through Zambia as cargo from moving on wheels, saying the decision will affect the tourism sector. According to the Gazette number 124 of 2021, issued by the Zambia Revenue Authority, all vehicles transitioning through Zambia as cargo by road shall not be allowed, but shall be conveyed by a carrier specifically designed to convey the vehicles. Mr. Musonda, however, says most drivers from neighboring countries who transit vehicles through Zambia use it as an opportunity to visit tourism sites, thereby contributing to revenue generation.
The decision taken by the Zambia Revenue Authority to ban vehicles transiting through Zambia as cargo from moving on their own wheels, but through a carrier specifically designed for the conveyance of vehicles, has attracted reactions from different stakeholders. The Zambia Concerned Youth spokesperson Veni Musonda says some drivers from other neighboring countries have been using the process of transiting vehicles through Zambia as a way of visiting some tourism sites in the country, which he says has been contributing to the revenue generation in the tourism sector. Mr. Musonda says the decision will affect not only the tourism sector, but other businesses such as hotels and lodges.
For instance, my friend from Congo has bought a vehicle from South Africa. The only time they will have to see the Victoria Falls, the only time they will have to see Chishimba Falls, Kalambo Falls, and other attractive areas that we have, is that time within the 7 to 14 days. They will use this time to know Zambia and in turn also go and market Zambia. Now, if you say one courier company will have to do that, you are killing not only the business for these small and medium enterprises, which they've created a ministry for.
And Mr. Musonda adds that some Zambian drivers who have been coordinating with other companies and businesses in neighboring countries by delivering cars on their behalf will also lose out on their sources of income, as the decision equally concerns them.
You look at most of the vehicles that transit this nation, it's either there are people that have contracted someone who's Zambian, they go to collect these vehicles from South Africa, then they drive. That's a source of income for a family. For someone to get a courier vehicle, that should be, these are big multinational companies that can afford that. So this Gazette notice is not only depriving a local Zambian of an income, but it is also going to kill our tourism sector.
But a car dealer who sought anonymous has welcomed the decision, saying other countries have equally implemented the same law.
But the people who are going to benefit are those guys who are transport businesses. Those are the people that are going to be benefiting now. So they need to start buying my trailer, my carrier. Yazinga station, like what they are doing by Japan before.
According to the Gazette notice, the decision will be effected on 1st January 2022. Prudence Chota, reporting for Camnet TV News.
The Zambia Association of Manufacturers has bemoaned the low levels of local products in the public procurement, despite the local manufacturing sector producing a lot of goods. ZAM trustee Aliport Ngoma says the association has observed that Zambia has put in place the Public Procurement Act of 2020, which the Minister of Finance, Stumbeko Msokotwane, in the 2022 national budget addresses directed procurement departments to prioritize locally produced goods. Meanwhile, Minister of Commerce, Trade and Industry, Chipoka Mulenga, has pledged to see to it that local products are promoted in the procurement process.
The Zambian manufacturing sector produces a lot of goods that are sold locally and internationally. The sector is an important driver of employment opportunities and earner of foreign exchange. The Zambia Association of Manufacturers says the sector has benefited less from public infrastructure and non-infrastructure projects. The association president says there is need to enforce the provisions of the national budget. Mr. Ngoma says working with government will contribute to the growth and development of the local manufacturing sector.
Towards the local manufacturing sector. We are pleased to note, however, that Zambia has in place the Public Procurement Act of 2020. And the Honorable Minister of Finance, in his national budget address, directed government procurement departments to prioritize locally produced goods and services in all government tenders. However, to achieve the intended results, the provisions of the Act and the directives in the national budget address need to be enforced. Therefore, as industry, we request that the Act and local content directives by the Minister of Finance be implemented.
Meanwhile, Minister of Commerce, Trade and Industry, Chipoka Mlenga, has assured ZAM that government will work hand in hand with them in order to promote local products.
It's not a government that just makes speeches. We do what we say. So the Minister of Finance pronouncements he made, they will be implemented. We're doing this, we're legislating, we're drawing deliberate policies so that the private sector can thrive, can succeed, and can grow. Our government wants to have an economy that is private sector driven, and you are the private sector that we are talking about. You are heroes in achieving what we want to do. My government wants to set our economic agenda on value addition.
Blessings Chakwila, Camnet News, Lusaka.
The European Union has awarded a grant financing of 121 million kwacha to civil society organizations on the protection of child rights and promotion of inclusive education in Zambia. Speaking at the launch of the contracted CSO grant contract, EU Head of Cooperation Arnold Bochert says the grant will, among other things, be used to fight against child labor and exploitation. And Ministry of Youth, Sports and Child Development Assistant Director Planning, Mwazia Kampyongo, who represented the minister, says CSOs that have received the grants should put them to good use.
The European Union has awarded a grant financing of 121 million kwacha to 6 civil society organizations in the country, which will be channeled towards the protection of children's rights, including juvenile youths and juvenile offenders, as well as to promote empowerment of children and youths in Zambia through increased access to inclusive education. European Union Head of Cooperation Arnold Bochert, who spoke at the launch of the contracted CSO grant contract in Lusaka Wednesday, has echoed the importance of CSOs in a democratic space.
We are not just here to fund CSOs, we're also here to contribute to open the space for expression for CSOs through political dialogue with all stakeholders around the country, and especially Zambia authorities. Why? I mean, for us, CSOs are a key asset in a democratic system.
And the child ambassador, Annie Lukwesa, has urged the government to be more inclusive when it comes to matters that concern children, as they have in most cases been left out.
We note very concerned that Zambia, after having attained 56 years of independence, vulnerable children, especially those with disabilities, out of school and street children as well as girls, continue to have limited access to human development services including education, health, job opportunities, skills development, legal support and loan facilities.
But government, through the Ministry of Youth, Sports and Child Development Assistant Director Planning Mwazia Kampyongo, has urged CSOs that have received the grant to put it to good use.
My appeal is for these organizations to continue the good works they are undertaking in this sector. As government, our doors remain open to partnering with organizations in bringing development to the nation.
There would be no future without children, yet they are in most cases sidelined when it comes to government policies that favors the children. This is why the government should consider enacting the Children Codes Bill so that their right can be protected, among many other challenges that needs to be tabled. Prudence Chota, reporting for Camnet TV News.
President Hakainde Hichilema has appointed Honorable Mr. Justice Dr. Mumba Malila as Chief Justice of the Republic of Zambia, subject to ratification by the National Assembly. The appointment of Honorable Mr. Justice Dr. Mumba Malila State Council is in line with the provisions of Article 140A of the Constitution of Zambia, as amended by the Constitution of Zambia Amendment Act No. 2 of 2016, which mandates the Republican President to appoint the Chief Justice of Zambia. on the recommendations on the Judicial Service Commission, subject to ratification by the National Assembly. The President has since wished Honorable Mr. Justice Dr. Mumba Malila all the best in his new role. And in line with Section 5(1)(a) of the Service Commissions Act No. 10 of 2016, as read with Section 26, President Hakainde Hichilema has also appointed Mr. Sakala has appointed Mrs. Kondwa Emily Sakala Chibia as eminent member of the legal profession in Zambia as member of the JSC. Mrs. Sakala Chibia was duly sworn in by then Acting Chief Justice Michael Musonda on the same day. Subsequently, the President has also terminated the appointment of Honorable Justice Matthew Ngolobe as chairman of the JSC and replaced him with Mr. Mwekesa Mukande. You're watching Camnet News. We take another set of commercials. Join me shortly for international and sports news.
Infirmity never had a legal right in here anymore because she was healed in her soul. He also took care of that accusation in the court where he said, I loose you, and that means to acquit someone of a crime.
Why does he say, be strong and be courageous, Bamutale? Number one, you've got to be strong. You've got to be courageous when claiming the things that belong to you.
If you're up against principalities and powers,
en contra de
and Satan is knocking you around,
y el enemigo te está dando contra ti,
put praise on in your car.
Pon alabanza.
Put praise on.
So we must learn to depend on the Holy Spirit to tell us what these things are and what's the next thing and what the church ought to be doing rather than conform to everything that is going on.
He says you're blessed. He says flesh and blood has not revealed this to you, but my Father.
He will preach the gospel with great power and influence, I say, even to the nations of the earth. And I began to prophesy his destiny. As I did that, the Spirit of the Lord said, now rebuke the spirit of depression.
The mystery of your unfulfilled prophecy is found in what I'm saying today if you hear what the Spirit is saying, because the King is speaking.
That everything that God has given you will flourish because you have his mind like never before in Jesus' mighty precious name.
This is the Rusitu Irrigation Project. It's a government project funded by the World Bank through IDSP.
The project involved laying over 18 kilometers worth of interlinked water pipes that will supply water to the 280 hectares land for small-scale and commercial farmers in Rusitu of Chirundu district. We worked on 35 kilometers of the road network and also constructed 159 concrete water hydrants of different sizes in all 3 tiers. The state-of-the-art water pumping station at the banks of the Zambezi is fitted with 9 water pumps, a dedicated concrete reservoir, a 500 kV automated standby generator, a fully automated pump switching system that is interlinked with a second reservoir of 27,000 cubic liters capacity, which is fitted with 7 water pumps, a standby generator and floater tanks for that extra water pressure on the irrigation lines. Savenda Construction is grateful to the Zambian government and the World Bank for giving us the opportunity to be part of the history of Rusitu, as the project will benefit over 282 households. Once completed, and is just one of the many that Savenda Construction has embarked on, owing to its track record and capacity to deliver as per requirement. Savenda, save nations, develop Africa.
Africa is rising to a new dawn of integrity and accountability. Are you tired of being swindled or buying fake or illegal properties? Would you like to sell or buy genuine property? Would you like to list your property on both local and international market? Don't waste your time. Call the professionals, the SGK Properties, on +260 762 166 018. SGK Properties. Your business assurance is our priority.
Welcome back. Thank you for staying on. In international news, Senegal is turning to floating stations in response to energy crisis. The national power company, Senelec, has been struggling to provide electricity to people. With Senegal's electricity price among the highest in the world, many people cannot afford their electricity bills. Here's a roundup of international stories.
The French troops on Wednesday officially handed over the farthest northern post in Thessaly to the Malian forces. Paris troops have been occupying the post for the past 8 years as they fight insurgency from the northern jihadists in the region. The French army has also indicated that it will surrender its Timbuktu post to concentrate further south in Gao, Menaka and Gossi. This is the second base the French troops has handed over after it first did the same with the Kidal base in mid-October. In June, Paris began reorganizing its military presence in the fight against jihadists in the Sahel, notably by leaving its northernmost bases in Mali and planning to reduce its troops in the region by 2023 by 3,000 men compared with more than 5,000 today. Relations between Paris and Bamako soared on September 25th when Mali's transitional Prime Minister Choguel Kokala Maiga accused France, which has been militarily engaged in Mali since 2013, of abandoning it. As insurgency persisted, the relations further went south when Malian government made some deals with the Russian mercenaries to help boost its security.
In Dakar's Charoy suburb, a 13-year-old boy is doing what Senegal's government is struggling to do: keep the lights on for his family and neighbors. Fed up with the constant power cuts, Faloussen uses material found in trash to build solar-powered lamps.
I used batteries, scrap metals, electrical wiring, all solar panels and light bulbs. It doesn't take much. We have all the resources we need to power our homes. I don't understand why it's so hard to bring electricity to our families.
Almost half of the country is not connected to the power grid run by Senelec, the state-run electricity company. Traditional land-based power stations are costly and take time to build.
We need $2 billion to provide electricity to all, but our national budget can't afford this. But there are private contractors that can do the job better. That's what we're hoping for.
Senelec is turning to these floating power plants, run by Turkish-owned Car Power Ship, to meet its immediate needs. Docked in Dakar's port, it burns 1,000 tons of fossil fuel in just 5 days. It is also connected to a boat offshore carrying liquid natural gas.
We can progressively switch from heavy fuel oil to natural gas, and this will have to impact, first thing, reduction in the electricity price, second thing, more friendly to the environment.
At least 8 African countries and 30 worldwide rely on these floating power stations to meet their electricity needs.
Every 15 minutes, an engineer from the National Power Station sends a text message to the crew on their ship indicating the amount of electricity Senegal needs. At its peak, it provides 25% of Senegal's power. Millions of people depend on it, but few can afford the price of power.
Senegal's electricity price is among the highest in the world, more expensive than most European and North American countries. Mother of 9, Aïssatou Fall, is forced to choose between food or power.
It's such a difficult choice to make, one that I'm forced to take. I have hope, though, that someone, God willing, will find a solution.
While the government promises to deliver electricity for all by 2025, Fallou Sen sees an opportunity to help take small steps to bring power to the people. Nicholas Hawk, Al Jazeera, Charoy, Senegal.
Well, that's it for international news. We look at sports news. The Zambia national team on Tuesday went down 3-1 to Tunisia in the first group stage match to the Qatar 2022 FIFA World Cup qualifier. It was a disastrous first half display that saw the Chipolopolo chase shadows in a disjoint display that saw Toast and Samata pick the ball 3 times from the net despite serving the penalty in the same half. Despite the odds stacked against them, Zambia were looking to put 3 past Tunisia without conceding to have any chance of peeping Tunisia and Equatorial Guinea to the next round. Beston Chambeshi made one change to the team that beat Mauritania 4-0 at home last week, bringing in Dixon Chapa for Rally Walia. What is next for Zambia's hope to the World Cup is a question that begs for answers. You can leave your comment on the comment section on our Facebook comments. Well, that's where we wrap it up for our news this evening. The headlines once again. The PF demands an audit for its members as differences emerge over the General Assembly. SOLWEZI district residents bemoan the poor state of roads. Manufacturers ask government to prioritize local products. In international news, French troops quit North Post in Mali's second base in 1 month. And in sports news, what next for Zambia as World Cup dream officially shatters? We now look at the Camnet verse for the day, and it's coming from 1 Samuel chapter 2, verse 2 to 3, and it reads, "There is no one holy like the Lord, there is no one besides you, and there is no rock like our God. Do not boast so proudly, or let arrogant words come out of your mouth, for the Lord is a God of knowledge, and actions are weighed by him." Well, that's all we had for you on the desk. Thank you so much for choosing us. My name is Sharon Kalimbola. Good night and keep watching Camnet TV.